Hello! This is a cyclone of fright, and for once, I will let my lovely sister, Jiggly Iggly, do the introduction.
Jiggly Iggly? Really? Out of all the things? Am I all of a sudden a Pokio or something? It's Tell, and you know it. Hello, all our ghosts, ghouls, and goblins. And if you don't know which one you are, sounds like you might be a ghoul.
And as always, I am the one, the only Damon the Scorpion Pill, the closest thing to divinity on earth. And we are glad to have you guys. You might have noticed that a bonus video dropped at some point throughout this week. Don't really know which day. It's whichever day I get around to it, but it is a day that ends in a Y. I know that much. So look forward to that, even though if you're watching this video, then that already dropped, so you could have already watched it. So look back forward to it. Like, is that how that would go? Look 2020? Like hindsight to it? Yeah, look hindsight to it.
I think you just created a new phrase.
I hope not. I don't want to be, stuck with all the weird phrases the kids nowadays say. I'm always so lost when I hear them talking. Whatever happened to the good old days, in the 1920s where you just went around and you said stuff that made sense?
Like what? Alcohol is terrible? Ban it all?
Flappers. The dress had flaps on it that flapped. Flappers. Makes sense. There's something flapping on their dress, thus it's called a flapper. What is there not to get there?
I mean, it's all self-explanatory, but you never know.
Unlike nowadays where they're like, oh, fire. It's like, oh, fire? Where? Oh, is it burnt? No, that's not what any of that meant. Like, how am I supposed to do that?
Well, I mean, you could always keep up with the lingo of the children of today.
I can't keep up with my own lingo. Like, the lingo I make up for my books, I can't even keep up with. And you want me to keep up with the lingo of the, world? Like, how am I going to do that?
Well, most of it's not too difficult. You just have to try.
You heard her. It's too difficult. There is no doing it. But anyways, back on topic. Right now, as you're watching this video, we are currently in Indianapolis at PopCon, which hopefully by the time you're doing this, we've been very successful in moving some of our books and have introduced a whole new audience to the wonders of our books. Mine, The Killer Hunters, Book 1 and Book 2, along with Rising to the Top, A Scorpion is Born, a nice little wrestling novella. And what do you have to offer over there? What are you trying to peddle? What wares are you peddling at PopCon Indie?
My book called Intrigued by Desire, a Raising the Stakes novella, part 1. And it's about a shy girl that meets a guy at his casino and she falls madly in love with him, and the rest is history.
Well, I mean, I think I'd prefer the money at the casino than winning love, but that's just me. There's a reason why one of my other monikers is, the cold-hearted kid. But that's because, unlike the Grinch, I understand. My heart grows 3 times, I just had a heart attack and I'm dead. So I'm not doing that. I do a nice diet of shrinking my heart down at least 1/4 of an inch every year. And then I freeze over that part so it doesn't grow back. I've been doing it for years. You could probably stab it with a spear and the ice would block it.
I mean, who says you could find it from the sounds of it?
No, I mean, it's still findable, obviously. I'm not that talented. One day. Maybe. But, yeah, so, that's where we're at right now. So, we are actually shooting this video well in advance. And by well in advance, I mean, what? 4 days? 5?
4 days.
Let's see. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 4?
I thought you were talking about Friday.
When do we ever post on Fridays?
Well, I don't know. When do we ever do surprise videos all of a sudden?
Those have been a staple of the channel for years. Just because you're new to it doesn't mean that it's, a shocker.
Okay, well, we all know that I don't do unplanned things.
I know, that's why this is amazing. This is the second unplanned video I've made her do today. It's wonderful. Is it not?
Maybe to you, not necessarily to me.
Well, now that we've shamelessly plugged ourselves, which, I mean, you got to do that, right? That's a no-brainer. And we've debated how cold-hearted I am. I think it's time to get to the actual meat and potatoes of this video. And see, that's another saying that's easy to follow. Meat and potatoes. You know exactly what you're getting. Is it that hard?
Well, it depends on which year you're living in. Meat and potatoes were pretty hard to gather in certain years.
No. You could get a rotten potato that was going to poison you, and some, beef that had went bad 3 years prior at any time in history. I never said it was the creme de crop chef kiss. I just said meat and potatoes.
Ugh, rotten meat.
So, this video, we're going to be discussing something that all of you would-be authors out there, or just people who tend to write, know little about and probably have your own systems, or maybe you're looking for one. And that is naming. Now, what we're going to do is discuss how we name our characters. Would you like to go first or second in this?
I'll go second.
Yeah, shocker there. So, my naming convention, and she actually helps with this, so she's not completely out of the loop here, is I have her put down, it varies, but let's go with 100 random names that can seem more masculine and 100 random names that could seem more feminine. And what I do from there is I grab percentile die from like D&D, I roll them, and look, 56. I go to number 56. Gregory. Gregory is the name of this character. And the beautiful part about that is once I get my, let's say 10, 15 characters I need, I can then roll a dice to see who lives, who dies, and who is just a coward who, unfortunately doesn't play any role in the story because they run out at the very beginning. Like, when the pumpkin falls off the porch and smashes in a horror movie. Like, yeah, this is a person that's gone then. Like, that's too much for them. They're like, nah, man. Whenever kids start knocking down pumpkins, I'm out. Clearly, we're all gonna die. I'm gone. And it's not like they just go to their house so the killer goes there and kills them first. Nah, they get in their car. They drive to 3 states over. Like, when they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah, gone from the world, it sounds like.
Well, there's an old country song. What type of gone are we talking about? And they're gone for good. But hey, they live, so. I mean, take it how you will. But, yeah, so that's how a lot of the characters wind up getting their names is through my random wheel of names. When I do one, I cross it off. And whenever I don't have enough names left, I have her make me another list. These can be varying, ethnicity names, cultural names. I don't really care. I just have her make me a list. They don't have to make sense. They don't have to be good. Most of these people are going to actively die since I write horror stories. And then other character names simply come from, like, either people I know. I'll just steal one of their first names and then create my own last name for them. Or it can be simply, things like, we'll go with Ruth for an example. Ruth was a character who was supposed to die by all means and then refused to. She got the name Ruth because she was supposed to die. And I always hated the character on 7th Heaven named Ruth.
It was Ruthie.
Ruthie not a nickname for Ruth?
I mean, I think it might have been Ruth Ann, but I'm not entirely sure.
Who the hell named someone Ruth Ann?
I think it was supposed to be a family name, but I don't remember exactly. But I'm pretty sure it was Ruth Ann.
Well, yeah, I just thought her name was Ruth and couldn't stand the character, so I was like, got a character that needs to die? Boom! Got a name for them. And then they surprised me and, lived. And that's why they have the honorable nickname, Ruby, so I don't have to call them Ruth. Because that kind of backfired on me when they chose not to die. Colt Crimson? That one's simply old school wrestling games. Because I'm a huge wrestling fan. I get the new WWE every year. They don't even know they've had actual people in wrestling named Damon. Damon's never a name you can pick for them to announce, because no! Even though that's one that they have the files for, because they've had people named Damon, they never have it. So I had to go with something else, and I wound up with Colt Crimson. So it became one of my mini aliases, kind of like John Paul, or Manaka Snow. Once you start reading some of my works, you'll see those names pop up. I might not be the most creative at naming some characters, but hey, give me a break. I needed to use those aliases somewhere. And she won't let me go on a criminal underspree.
Maybe their favorite three ninja was Colt. Maybe that's why it made it into the game. Although I do personally think that Rocky was better. But that's just my opinion.
We all know Tum Tum power. Unless it's that god-awful, High Noon at Mighty Mountain Tum Tum. That Tum Tum needs to be drowned in the toilet. Who switches it from, Twizzlers to candy bars? The hell switches that? Not to mention, that's supposed to be a sequel, but I thought they were all, 6 years younger than in the originals.
Well, didn't they get Hogan for that one? Maybe he had a thing against Twizzlers. You never know.
Yeah, that is one that with Hulk Hogan in it. That's how you know the three ninja to avoid. It's old man, small child, Hulk Hogan. That's the one you avoid. Because it ain't no, where's my fish? It's dead, gotta get a new fish. But, yeah, so that...
No Twizzlers on set, brother. We hate Twizzlers, brother.
But, yeah, so that's where a lot of my naming conventions come from. Yeah. I try to stick with a gemstone theme for the killer hunters themselves. That's why it's Lance Emerald. Adrestia Amber. Ruth Ruby. Lexi Lyrewood just doesn't have it in the name, but she is represented by Amethyst. So, I mean, it works. But, yeah, so that's where my names come from. It's a pretty simple technique. It works wonders, especially if you just need a bunch of characters that need names but don't matter as much. You can put a little more thought into the important characters, but any writer, any book reader should know there's a lot of characters that get names that don't necessarily, they're the extras. If it was a movie, they'd be Fat Kid number 2. But you actually decide to give them some respect and give them an actual name instead of being known as Fat Kid number 2. But that's where I'm at. So now let's see. She wanted to go second so she'd have time to think in her head. I know what this was. Of what am I going to say? Let's see what it is. All of us are wondering. All of us have our eyes on you. The 3 people who watch these videos all are watching you intently, staring at you. Oh, is that a gulp? Let's hear it.
Well, my technique is usually trying to decide if they have a specific personality, and then if they have a specific personality, I will search that term and see which languages those terms are, and then from there on, I will decide what I want the name to be, and sometimes I add a random name or town generator, and then I just decide to randomly connect the two if two of them sound like they would make a good town name or a city name or a hotel name, for instance. And as far as the rest, I just usually look up if I have a specific time frame that I'm going for. I see what the most popular names of that generation were, and then I just try to go for ones that sound like they're fitting for that time era. And that's about it for my name choices. I'm not nearly as adventurous with my naming as he is.
I don't think you're as adventurous as me in anything. Now, I could be wrong. She does like to do some really dumb things. But she won't allow me to mention Telly shoe flies.
Don't ever mention that video ever again.
You know, now they're excited. They want to see it. You can't just name drop it like that and not show them.
I didn't name drop it, and it is heretofore there now not in existence.
I have copies.
I'm sure you do, and I will find them and burn them all.
How are you going to burn them without burning my computer?
I don't care. If your computer has to croak, then your computer has to croak.
What about my backup computer?
I will gather all of your computers and burn them in a charcoal fire, I guess. I don't know.
What about the 23 flash drives that I have it buried in the backyard in?
Well, that sounds like a lot of effort. So quit.
You say effort, I say insurance. But, yeah, so when naming characters, it's good to have ideas. It's good to come up with meaningful ones for, like, the protagonist, the antagonist, the, like, key ones. But for a lot of the other ones, like, don't stress out about it. You can make the names, and you can actually learn to like the names more or deal with them better. It's mainly just the protagonist and the antagonist that you should sweat a little bit more coming up with the name, trying to make it meaningful. But a lot of the other ones, like, don't stress yourself out. Don't get writer block or anything like that over a name. It's not worth it. Hell, a lot of times if I haven't had time to do my little dice or it's one of my gods, which those ones I do meaningfully make, I'll just put in parentheses question marks while I'm writing until I can get back to it. That way I can keep going and it doesn't slow me down. So never feel like a name is what's holding you up, what's causing your writer's block. Keep going, even if it means putting fillers in there. Just make sure it's fillers that are easy to find with like the find and replace buttons. Because trust me, I've not done the parentheses question marks before. I've done just random words. Yeah, and that took some time to find because, yeah, that wasn't my smartest decision. But that's how we learn. And that's why we're giving you this advice. From time to time, we will give advice to all of you aspiring authors or just the ones who want to peek behind the scenes into what it's like to write as one of the members of a Cyclone of Fright. Would you like to tell them why we're a Cyclone of Fright? I don't, since we're speaking of names, it only feels like right to talk about how we came to the name a Cyclone of Fright or Jiggly Iggly.
You and your jiggly iggly. Anyhow, back to the actual name is because this one has always had a lifelong obsession with scorpions. I don't know. Maybe it's the whole tale of Scorpion and the Frog. But regardless, scorpions will scorpion. So he's always liked scorpions, and if you don't know, the name for a group of scorpions is a cyclone. And we write stuff that is scary or supernatural. So thus, a Cyclone of Fright was born.
Because she's officially been elevated to the category of Junior Scorpion. If she works hard, she might even get to Junior Associate Scorpion. But for now, she's simply Junior Scorpion. But yeah, so I've always been the Scorpion. And yes, part of that is due to the tell. That the Scorpion's like, I promise. Turtle, frog, it varies in different tellings of it. I will not sting you if you take me across this river. What sense would that make? We'd both die. And the turtle, frog, whatever you want to put in there, doesn't really matter. It's like, oh, that makes sense. Hop aboard, I'll take you across. And about halfway through, the Scorpion stings, and they both drown. And the whole point is, as they're like sinking, the frog, turtle, whatever, says, why? The Scorpion's like, it's in my nature. So the fact that I'm a smaller guy with my wrestling and everything else, I always liked the idea of the Scorpion just lashing out regardless of size or if it would be destructive to the Scorpion itself. So yeah, that's where that comes from. And that's how we get to a Cyclone of Fright. Which, how do you feel to be a Junior Scorpion now? You must be pretty excited about yourself.
I mean, it is pretty exciting, yes.
One day, with hard work, she might even be able to be Senior Vice Junior Associate Scorpion. It's going to take a while to lose that Junior. I just want you to know that.
Oh, so what you're saying is you're Buck Strickland.
What's a Buck Strickland? Sounds like something at the nudie bar.
No. As in a certain Hulu series. It's getting rebooted.
Kinky of the Hill?
I don't think that's what the one I was watching was called, but I guess if that's what you were watching, then you were on your own.
You know, I would like to say that was entirely a joke, but I bet you that's a real thing. I'm curious now. But nonetheless, we hope you guys have a great day. We hope this helps some of you. To the ones that it didn't help, that's fine too. Just leave nasty comments about her in the comment section below. She loves to read those. And when you leave a comment, you never know which one of us will reply. The, crazy one, or the mild manner one. So, I guess you're, Bruce and I'm the Hulk.
I guess so. I'm not entirely sure.
Can I be a Bruce too? I'll be Bruce Campbell. You can be Bruce Jenner? Joffrey? What is the Hulk's name?
Bruce Banner.
Huh, Banner. Then who the hell's Bruce Jenner?
Well, it's the dead name of Caitlyn Jenner.
What's a dead name? Is that like in acting whenever you stop using your pen name and decide to go by a different name?
No, it's called whenever the person becomes who they really were, so they no longer use that name that they used to subscribe to.
Oh, like when I, went to those foreign countries and did all those criminal activities and then changed my name.
No, not like that. It's just a name change that aligns more with the person that they are these days.
Oh. Well, I'm still sadly banned from Antarctica. Those dang penguins. And their unfair legal system. They didn't prove me guilty in their court of fish. They didn't. I shouldn't be banned. They couldn't prove me guilty. All the penguin jurors wound up dead. but that means I was acquitted. So I don't feel like I should be penalized for it, but here we are. I had to change my name, and I'm still not allowed in Antarctica.
Sounds like a bad deal for you.
It totally was. I was gypped. Dang penguins. All you try to do is, make a penguin suit. And all of a sudden, all the penguins start having an issue.
Okay, Cruella de Peel.
Hey, at least penguins, I feel like, would be more functional than Dalmatians. The penguins have, water-resistant feathers along with being able to withstand that cold. That would have to be an insulated from water and temperature suit. What does a Dalmatian give you?
I mean, they're cute.
Subjective. Like, they're not very cute, even the animated ones. Especially the god-awful new animated ones. Like, I thought the old animated ones were ugly little mutts. But those new ones, oh my god. I understand Cruella. She was doing the world a service by trying to take those things out. They be haunting your dreams. You be waking up seeing the Dalmatian like...
I wouldn't go through all that. That's a big extreme.
You've never obviously woke up seeing those demented Dalmatians.
No, and I hope never to.
We'll make her.
Please don't.
But you guys have a great one. We're always glad to read your comments below. Like I said, you'll get one of us responding. So you never know what personality the response will be back in. It could be in a vice super superior elite scorpion, or it could be a junior scorpion. But yeah, you guys have a great one. If you happen to be at PopCon and, saw us, say hello. If you don't, flip us off. I don't really care. It's acknowledgement either way. Like, you know what they say, no bad such thing as bad press, right?
I suppose so, but please don't flip us off.
It's okay. Do it. Aim it at her. She loves it. She is the biggest fan of criticism and harsh treatment. It makes her feel special.
It does not. Please don't do that.
It's okay. I won't tell if you don't. Just, give her a little whoop-de-loo. But you guys have a good one, and we will see you next time. Any farewell words to all ghouls, ghosts, goblins, and zombievers? That really wasn't a good movie, by the way.
Doesn't sound like it.
I think it is better than Zom Strippers, but actually I take that back. Zom Strippers at least had something to look forward to. Zombievers did not. I'd rank Beavers 0 exposed nipples. And Zom Strippers had the exposed nipple, so I at least have to rank it like a 10th of an exposed nipple.
Of course you would. Anyhow, we'll see you later, all our ghosts, goblins, and ghouls. And if you don't know which one you are, you're probably a ghoul.
No salute, no wave bye, nothing. There you go. I swear, manners totally lost on her.